Well, good afternoon. I'm talking to you from my humble abode here in Honolulu, all this great distance from where you are. And of course, I'm sending you my own aloha, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about library training over the years. During the time that I was supervisor of library services for the Old Trust Territory, we had a workshop probably once every year and a half over a period of about 15 years. And that was about the best we could do. And we spread them around pretty well. We got Palau, Majuro, Pohnpei, Saipan. I think got workshop. Well, we even had one once on Rota because there was a new public library opening. And in all these workshops, we tried to talk about the work of a librarian and some of the fine points, some of the things that every librarian ought to know. And we often had people who came all the way from Hawaii and sometimes all the way from the mainland to help us and to give us some additional input. And then we would try to socialize some and get acquainted with each other. And I remember that the last workshop that we had was on Pohnpei. And it was the last day, we'd had our last session, and we were sitting and socializing around a table at one of the hotels. And we got to talking about how we would be leaving and then we'd be out of touch again for a year or two, and how unfortunate that was, that we ought to keep in closer touch. And then we got into this business about all the government bureaucracies. If you send a memo, it's got to go through Joe and Jane and initialed and all this, and people don't want to bother with all that. And then personal notes, yes, this might do, but somehow we thought there ought to be something, a better way. And I remembered something from my youth of what was called a round-robin letter. And I explained it to them, and I said, now I'll start it off. I'll write about a half a page of what's going on in my office and in my life, which are related to my work. And then I will put in a couple of, maybe a half a dozen blank sheets of paper and put this in an envelope and shoot it off. And let's say we'll start in Palau. I'll shoot this off to Palau. And in Palau, you should write your comments. Anything you care to say about what's happening in your personal life or your professional life at work, how things are going, any questions you might have, whatever. And then put that back in the envelope, send it off to YAP, and then after you guys in YAP do your bit, send it off to Saipan, then down to and then Pohnpei, and then Marshalls, and I don't know if we included Kusai then because they didn't have very good airplanes weren't going to Kusai back then. But anyhow, we started that off, and I thought I had no way of knowing how it was going because it wasn't going to come back to me until it was all over. Well, I wondered and I wondered and I wondered. And then the time came when I had to retire. I still had not seen the end of this round-robin letter. And I don't know where it is. I don't know what happened to it. But you guys who are graduating here today can do all of that with just a few touches on a few keys. And I surely hope you will do that. Keep in touch. Keep your friends. Have a good life. Thank you.